After posting videos about interviews and my journey of our trip so far, I wanted to finally make a video that's actually helpful to you guys watching besides just entertainment purposes. I just released a short form video talking about applying for the Oddities and Curiosities Expo for 2025. So I thought it would be fitting to make a video about applying for shows in general. So if that involves markets, expos, conventions, festivals, all those things. So I feel like it'd be some valuable information, because if you're a artist or a vendor and you don't know where to even look, like, it's kind of challenging to go to these events or look for them if you don't even know where to look. And I'm not saying I'm an expert or anything. I've only been doing this about the last 2 years or so with my partner. She's been doing it for almost 10 years now. So I've learned things from her, advice from other vendors, and other experience and whatnot. So take this all with a grain of salt, but this would be at least some valuable information if you're looking to start up or if you're a beginner in general. So there's a couple places I would recommend looking at. One is word of mouth. Word of mouth will be your number one, working with other vendors or people, or like even if you go to, like, say, a farmer's market or something, ask around, talk to the different vendors and artists at these events. Like, hey, how did you get into this? Maybe I have your contacts. Can I get into a group or anything like that? Which leads into, like, get into other groups. One big recommendation I would go is on Facebook. Facebook, you can find all kinds of events you'll see regularly, probably on your feed. It could be like, a major festival or event or expo and stuff like that. So sometimes if you follow those specific events, they'll post applications or information like that. Another thing is with those groups is going into like Facebook and looking for specific groups that you're trying to, for your niche or your area. So like we're in Oklahoma. So I follow a couple like vendor groups within Oklahoma and stuff like that. But I also have started branching out and looking at festival groups, as well as other artist groups and other niches like that. And while we've met people at these other events, we even made our own private group so we can all talk about within the area or surrounding states that are within a few hours away. So that's a really good way to like find festival or like events and stuff like that. Now, here's another one that I personally haven't really done, but I've heard from other people, is going to like specific hashtags, like say go on Instagram and look for a like your niche or area that you're looking into. And in those hashtags, sometimes the events or coordinators and things like that, they will post with those hashtags so you can find those specific things. So if you've done anything like that, let me know in the comments if that's been helpful to you. I would actually like to try that more yourself. And also, if you guys are enjoying any of this getting any information from this that seems very valuable to you, consider subscribing, liking, doing all the things, because I want to continue helping you guys and grow, build this as a community. Going off those hashtags and stuff too, you can also go other social media sources, say like TikTok, looking at those specific areas too. Like say if you're looking for a city, sometimes in those cities, they'll post events and videos coordinating with those. Or caveat off of that is if you go to the specific site, so bringing up the Oddities and Curiosities Expo, if you go to their site, there will typically, somewhere on there, will show a vendor or application artist type spot. So go to the little tab on there and see when it's available or when it's going to come and by, or if it's already happened, or you can pre-plan for the follow-up year. Because typically, if it's a major like event, they will usually have the application times around the same time. So if it was like, June of 2025 and you missed out and you're like, oh, it's July now and they closed their applications. Well, you can put that in the back of your brain, as well as I would recommend making a spreadsheet somewhere or your notes saying, okay, there was this specific event. They did their application in June. So around May or June of 2026, that's when you know to look potentially to apply for that event. Now, there's some other things you can do. Even just a simple Google search could work too. So if you're looking for festivals in your area, I know there's some website too, like I think it's like festivals.net or Renaissance or whatever. Like even typing in basic information, there are some designated sites that do show that. So that's a good way to look up, as well as you can go onto your local commerce chain too. I know sometimes your state or city government will even post events on there. So I don't know, we have an event, I think back in Tulsa, that has, it's a major art festival that happens. However, the only way you can apply is going on your Chamber of Commerce to get into it. And then once you get onto their site, you can apply through that and reading all their stuff like that. Some other things I've also heard, which I haven't fully used, is you can use Meetup, the Meetup group application. They sometimes have stuff on there. There's gatherings and major events. Eventbrite, which that one's a little bigger mainstream for like shows, as in like concerts and things like that. But sometimes you can find some events on there to potentially apply for. And one I literally just learned about a couple minutes ago, which take that with a grain of rice because I got this one from ChatGPT, which can be great, is you can type in Google Maps like events near me or festivals, and supposedly, which I don't always trust Google Maps, especially because my Google Maps is really weird. Half the time it doesn't work properly for me, which my partner gets really annoyed of when I'm trying to find gas stations. However, supposedly you can find some events by clicking on Google Maps. I will want to try that one of these days, but like I said, take that one with a grain of salt. Now, I'm not going to go into super great details because I will make a separate video on this, but you need to also think about the logistics of where you want to do this event and how big of an event, if you're even qualified to do something like that. So if you want to do like your local market that's, right down the road, that might be an easy thing to get into because there's less traffic, you may have free time to do all that stuff. However, if you're going to like a major expo or convention, you may have to figure out, well, I live in the suburbs and I need to figure out how to get downtown, carry all my stuff, and all those logistics. So keep that in mind when you are looking to apply for an event. Think of the logistics on how you're going to even get there and if it's going to be reasonable, because there's gas costs and all that other stuff. Like I said, I'll go more into that on another video. One major thing I do consider is, if you've never done a market, start small and work your way up, because there's going to be way more barriers of entry to get into maybe those higher echelon events. So if you say you have a table full of some art prints, you may only be able to fit like 5 to 10 pieces of art on there, right? And you might not have any decoration or other things like that. So you might not get accepted, because a lot of those ones you also have to submit photos of your booth, which I'll do another video about booth maintenance and setup and how it should look and stuff like that. And just consider all the little things like that too. Like, will you be able to do it? And are you going to do the event by yourself, or will you have a helper and things like that? Because you need to go to the bathroom, eat lunch. How busy is it going to be? Can you realistically do an event by yourself? But all in all, my biggest recommendation is really communicating with other different people within your community, of developing where these events are and how to figure out what works for you. It's going to be different for everyone, and everyone has their experiences of big events, small events, and things like that. And you're gonna see where it goes, but really just take your time, look what works for you. And I'm also gonna potentially post in shorts or even maybe some other long form videos of events that we're going to apply for and how you can maybe apply for them as well, because we are trying to expand not even just inside the Oddities and Curiosities Expo. We're trying to do a little bit more local events, other major festivals, and as well as like other conventions, Comic Cons, and things like that, to expand into other areas. Because it's one thing too, like you don't want to always, you may have like a set niche for like your products. Your products might not work for, like, say you make jams or like food stuff. That might not potentially work for like an oddities market. However, that might work really good at a farmer's market or small little festival thing like that. So really look into that as well, of like, what do you think, would your stuff work for that event? Because yeah, it may not work out for some. And some events you may stand out way more than your competition because you may stand out from your product, and if it's unique, if it's different, or fits that specific market you're going for. So if you want to find some more markets and festivals and stuff like that, consider once again following me and our journey of continuing on, because Olivia's done this lifestyle for herself almost the last 10 years, added me on, and I want to try and help other people like yourself continue to branch out and maybe even just do it for fun. It doesn't have to be a huge moneymaker thing. Like, you could do it for side money. It could be a hobby. It could be for fun, whatever. But I mean, as stressful as the markets and festivals and stuff can be, they can be so much fun, as well as like you can build so many relationships between meeting other vendors, people buying your art. Like, just even the other day, Olivia had someone that really was good for her, a good feeling for her, because she's been feeling really down because of all our stressors. If you want to know more about those stressors, watch our video of our journey of our West Coast tour so far. It might be up here, but it seemed almost like a paid actor, because she was talking to Michelle, the owner of the Oddities and Curiosities Expo, and her friend slash someone that's been following her art, like, really came up to her and told Olivia, like, Olivia's art saved her life when she was down in a bad place. It really brought her up, and now she's thriving and even started her own small little business making purses and stuff. So, your art or your goods and stuff may really impact someone on a major level. You might not like think about it or see it or hear anything about it, but posting that content or making your art and things like that can sometimes really resonate with people. And I'm hoping that I can continue to do this and make it resonate for you, because maybe these words were the first step for you to push forward. And then I could be like seen maybe in a couple months or a few years from now and be like, hey, Harrison, that video you made about applying for shows? Well, you were the one that let me take the step forward. So if this video has helped you, let me know. And maybe once I said, I can interview you or see if this stuff helped you. But I appreciate you guys. And if you want to know any more, continue. Like I said, follow my journey. And I want to hear about your journeys too. So let me know in the comments. Thank you. And this is, once again, Art Behind the Artist. See ya.